Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the third and final season of Apple TV Plus's series, Physical. And this series takes us into the final season, starring Rose Byrne as Sheila, who is really coming into her own with her workout videos and getting on television and becoming this big personality where she goes to conventions and is really developing her brand. And you have this going on as she's developing this uncomfortable reemergence of her own insecurities as she sees a rival's character played by Zooey Deschanel kind of materializing as like this voice, this figure that harasses her and pressures her. And Zooey Deschanel, I think, is a great addition into this season. I think she brings a lot of personality. She's fun on screen. She definitely brings a fun attitude to the proceedings. And I feel like Sheila's journey in this season, overcoming that and really trying to strike that balance between her success and her happiness and her health in general, is something that feels like it's very engaging and something that by the end of this season and by the end of this series with the final episode, you really feel like you got some closure from a character perspective and her journey. So that's one thing that I think this season does well. It finally brings that closure. Danny, her ex-husband, played by Rory Scovel, he's such a scumbag. I hate him so much as a character in this show. And there's some interesting, complex things going on between them in terms of their marriage and their dynamic, their co-parenting. And it's really uncomfortable with how well this captures that, like, awkward co-parenting aspect of, like, sharing time and doing the pass-offs and stuff like that. And especially as somebody who grew up with divorced parents, it really captures that pretty well. Paul Sparks, John, kind of like falls to the wayside. Actually, a lot of characters fall to the wayside. I feel like Greta, Deirdre Friel's character, who went through so much development in the first two seasons, kind of gets put on the back burner here. I thought that was a bit odd in terms of her story. This really does become a Sheila and Danny story, with a lot of the supporting characters kind of taking more of a back seat. But I do appreciate how this season went full circle. There are some episodes that feel like, you know, how much does it add specifically? But there are definitely episodes that really capture the struggle that Sheila has with her eating disorder and with her struggle to find empowerment. And I do feel like Physical wraps up this series in a pretty satisfying way. I do think that this season was a rock-solid season. And especially with like the additions of Zooey Deschanel as a highlight, and Sheila's journey and her closure to her experience in this show being the real highlights for this season. Definitely worth a watch. I think the whole series worth a watch. It's, 15 hours all put together, maybe a little bit more. There's slightly more than 30-minute episodes. But in the end, this is a worthwhile series over on Apple TV+. But those are my thoughts on Season 3 of Physical. Let me know what you think and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.